Welcome to Toffee TV. Apologies, we're a little bit late. We were sorting out Luca Digne's. Well, we weren't sorting out Luca Digne's contract. I mean that's for someone else to do, isn't it? Yeah. We were just sorting out a few bits from Luca Digne, making sure that we had all our socials and our news and everything sorted out ahead of going live. But it's great to go. What a few days it's been for Everton Football Club. For a generation of kids, this is probably the greatest week of their lives, isn't it? For a generation of kids, this is the best week of their lives. They've got so much to be happy about. What a great week. What a great week.
It's a buzzing week, isn't it?
Merseyside derby victory. A crushing victory. The news of the stadium. And now Luca Digne signs a new contract till 2025. Brilliant. All good stuff. All we need to do now is announce that they're going to put Sam Miguel on draft or something. And honest to God, it will just be, the week will be sorted.
Maybe they will.
That's it. It's just been really, really good.
Maybe they will.
Really good.
Who knows? No, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. Great few days. And obviously, keep it coming. Keep that good news coming.
Keep the news coming. It's good news for the Blues.
It is. Benjamin Fairclough in at number 1 says we're destroying Southampton then. I don't know.
I haven't thought that far ahead.
No, I'm not. You know what? I've said this before. I'm enjoying this week. I'm not even considering
I'll be honest, there's even better good news.
Go on.
Because Luca Digne's just retweeted the video that we've just put on Twitter.
There you go. Beautiful. Evan Fowles says, nah, no one else will lose. Crying face.
Stop reading now comments from
Evans, not Evans. Evans
you don't
positive.
have to. No, you don't have to. You're not anchor man. No, you don't have to read out.
Evans positive normally. Evan also says, do you reckon Jürgen Klopp could actually get the sack this year?
No.
For the Reds.
Who's asked?
No, he's just asking.
Case.
Evan, apologies, mate.
No.
Russell Smith says, evening, lads. Alfie Boyce says, you lads and Ned should do Prem predictions before each Premier League week, and whoever gets the most wrong has to do forfeit. Well, I'm not eating an orange club.
Number 1, if you go on the Last Fan Standing app, where we have weekly games, we do have a predictor show, which isn't against each other, but we will have a new show coming soon, which will be like a bit of a predictor game that it'll go, see me and Baz go head to head. But you people, the audience, everyone out there will be able to get involved as well.
Play along. Win money.
Win
some money on it.
Apparently, I've heard we might be giving away $2,000 a month.
I mean, you say that, but we might.
We might be.
Depends.
We might be some months. There's going to be cash prizes on offer soon. Just saying.
So get involved.
Just saying. So
more when we've got more info on that for you. James Shorting says, is Max Aarons the man, or is there any other options you have in mind, or the Piv for that matter? Well, Max Aarons is very good and very quick. I'm sure me and the Piv will have a chance to discuss Max Aarons alongside some other alternatives for that right back spot that Everton are quite clearly targeting this season, which they are. So, but Aarons is very good, very quick, and probably exactly what Everton are looking for, getting up and down that right wing. So there you go. There you go. I mean, I'm still waiting for the title to say Everton Live at 5, Luca Digne contract and all that, which still just says Everton Live at 5. So I feel as though Ned has once again let us down.
Ned's working hard, by the way.
Is he?
He's working hard.
You're saying that?
He's editing the Kevin Campbell video.
Yeah, but, I mean, I do remember the conversation. I mean, that we had before. You just talk for a second, I'll do it.
I mean, that wasn't what we asked them to do. But
I mean, we did. We literally
asked them to make sure it was on Twitter. But standards, though, aren't they? You bring your own standards to this game. Do you know what I mean? You bring your own standards to this game. I mean, you're asking me to say things, but I don't have the comments in front of me.
You don't need to. Just talk about Luca Digne.
I am talking.
Are you happy with the Luca Digne news?
No, it's awful news. Awful news. Terrible news. Very, very much. It feels like a yellow school bus full of kids going off a bridge. Of course, I'm happy. That's that in Spider-Man. You'd say.
Oh, okay.
It's fine. What a silly question.
It's good.
Silly question. You get a silly answer.
No, I'm asking you. You're there to give an opinion. So what's your opinion on Luca Digne signing a new deal?
It's good. Get back in the comments.
He's got no ability to just chat wham have you when there's nothing on it. Robert Oldfield said, hi, love the James season so far. That fit out, is it? Yeah.
It's on Patreon.
Excellent. That'll be out on YouTube. Look out for that when it comes out. Adam Smith says, enjoyed the Tuesday topic about Machiri, lads. Agreed with what you said, but one thing I also liked...
It's also on Patreon.
...was that he ensured that the club gave Goodison a facelift too.
Yeah, well, we said that at the time. That was something...
The year before, wasn't it?
We said that a good year or so before. The club were like, yeah, we were already planning to do that, but it's funny that, because the picture we put on is exactly the picture that basically Goodison got turned into, but that's just us. That's what, it's what we like to do.
He said it'd be the easiest thing in the world to just leave Goodison and save money if we're intending to leave, but I love the fact they didn't. As much as we all love Goodison, it did look a bit of a mess from the outside. Now looks loads better. Things like that really help to improve the image in the brand. Also loved the Ferdinand video with Godfrey and Holgate. How nice was it to hear how much they cared about our performances and how annoyed they were by Klopp's antics. I've waited years to hear our players talk like that. Yeah, it is good hearing Holgate saying like he was fuming when Klopp ran on and all that. But that's okay. I had no problem with Klopp doing that really at the time because it was a late winner. But then they shouldn't have a problem with us doing what we celebrate.
I don't know if they have got a problem.
No, well, I'm just saying it's there. Chen Lars says Newcastle were in... No, I'm not even reading it. Andy Russell Smith says, I thought Andy Robertson's performance in the Netflix series Behind Their Eyes was incredible. Is he in it, is he? Robert Oldfield says 20 days now for the UK government to decide.
That's 21.
No, it's the 17th, isn't it?
Starts today. It was sent today. Obviously sent a special delivery.
You'd like to record the delivery.
Yeah. I mean, it's not normal for that. Normally, second class. Yeah, and
no, it's good. It's good because it'll be on the desk now, so the clock is ticking, isn't it? David Havel says, look at our remaining fixtures. I'm starting to get way too hopeful that 4th or 5th is a reasonable finish for us. Someone talk me out of it. No, I refuse to talk you out of it. Positivity. Danny Monarch says we have to treat Chelsea and West Ham away like cup finals. If we get 6 points from them, then it can be get your passport out. Why not? Why not? That's how you...
Hang on. Surely big games this season we've treated really well. Surely it's the games against the lesser sides are the ones we have to treat as cup finals.
Maybe he's alluding to West Ham and thingies.
Well, they're above us, aren't they?
Not big games.
I think we have to treat the games against the teams at home that we're supposed to win as big as the bigger games. Yeah. Because there's more of them.
Defo. Daniel Wilson says, Anfield hoodoo ended. New stadium approved and our best players signing a new deal. Has there been a more positive week for Everton in the 21st century?
It's a good job we didn't lose at Anfield because they would have just said, some people would have said that all this was just because we'd lost.
Go and have a look at the comments in the News Daily. Someone just said it. Do you reckon the hierarchy just kept this news because they knew we were going to get beat to put it out in case we got beaten? I was like, the stadium meeting everyone knew it was that day, and Luca Digne, I don't know when they choose to put it out. Don't know. Maybe the contract literally only just been agreed today. I don't know. Who knows? Contracts take a long time. MGL says hello from a wet and cold Conway Marina. Hello, I love that place. Love it. Right by the Liverpool Arms. Sit there with their go to the Tanlam Bakery.
Have you ever been to there when they're bringing in the mussels and stuff?
Oh, I've seen them all on the side. Boss. Oh. I love Conway. Conway's boss. Tanlam Bakery or Pop to Tea.
In other news,
called, boss.
The Burnley game has been moved from the 13th of March. Didn't we already know that?
It was a Thursday night, that.
Why have Everton just put it out?
Is it to a Thursday night now?
I think it was, wasn't it? I don't know. It's gone.
Well, what do you mean it's been moved?
Hang on. Burnley game has been switched to Saturday the 13th of March with a 5:30 kick-off. No, it's the West Brom game. That's a Thursday, isn't it?
I thought West Brom's a Monday.
It's a Thursday, isn't it?
Is it?
Wow. So Burnley is now at 5:30 kick-off at home.
So was that?
On the 13th. The game was supposed to be on the Sunday at 2 o'clock, but it's been switched as a result of teams' likely European commitments on the Thursday. So in other words, because Man United will be playing on the Thursday, their game will be on the Sunday.
Okay, fair enough.
And ours is now on the Saturday.
Okay, yeah, you're right, West Brom's the Thursday. Thursday at 6, what a horrible time. And Chelsea's at 6 o'clock as well, on a Monday.
So we now play Southampton Monday. We play West Brom next week. Is that right?
The 4th of March, yeah.
That's next week.
Thursday.
So
3 days after Southampton.
So we play Monday, Thursday, Monday, Saturday.
Yeah. Then the following Saturday against Man City.
I didn't realise that was next week.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to come to work on a Friday.
So we've got no game on a Saturday till the 13th, till we play Burnley.
Yes.
So next time we play on a Saturday, Burnley. And then obviously Man City the following Saturday, and then no game. Because why is there no? Is that the FA again? No, it's not the FA Cup. A week after Man City, must be international break.
God, has that come
I
back
was
already? Still
international football. Mad. Okay, fair enough. Very interesting. Very interesting. Real Source says, you ask this all the time. You need to. Who would be in your ultimate Everton Masters?
You can't ask that on a show like this. We haven't got time. Apology. Send a video into us. Who is he?
Real Source.
Oh, you have to join. You have to join Patreon.
He's a top man.
You have to join Patreon and send us a video.
He's the top man, Real Source.
No, he is, but we ain't got time on a show like this.
Josh McCann says, all right, fellas, still buzzing from our result at the weekend. Made up with the boys. Can't wait to see Alan back in the squad and seeing Josh King get a bit more game time. Paul McKellar says, probably the best week I've had as an Everton fan since we beat Man U on pens at Wembley in the semi. Barry Wall says, good news, the mighty Dean commits. Phil Young says, Dean till 2025, come on, you Blues. Back in Patreon. Mark Zobel says, buenas tardes, gentlemen. I'm about to record the Player of the Month video, so I'll send it over once it's finished.
Get you.
For any YouTube-only viewers, that's one of the many Patreon-exclusive shows where we look at and analyse our fans' player ratings that give players every match. Just one of the many reasons to join the great community we have going. We'd love you to all join us. Anyway, lads, any guesses for who won Player of the Month?
Patreon is so good that we let our patrons make videos for us. That's how good it is.
It's a community. That's what it is. Who would you say won Player of the Month? I'd say
Tom Davis.
Tom Davis is a shout. Maybe Richarlison because of the goals this month. Don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Ned is going to start doing a show off the back of your ratings just about the game, which I think will complement your Player of the Month one brilliantly, because that'll be like a weekly thing where Ned just talks about the ratings for 10 minutes. And then your Player of the Month video will really complement that, because you'll be collating it all. I think it'd be brilliant.
There's a lot of complimentary stuff going on.
Complimentary. Conrad Cole says, hi gents, just tried the cherry Jaffa cakes. God, they hit the spot all right. This, along with the stadium news and Saturday's result, means the week just keeps getting
I've actually
better.
got the cookie Jaffa cakes at home, and I was set to bring them in here. But because of some kind of weird religious cult sect thing that Baz is involved in.
Lent, essentially giving chocolate for Lent.
I mean, as I said, weird cult thing. We can't eat chocolate in studio, so...
You can do whatever you want to. You can eat chocolate all you want. I'm not. I didn't stop Ned eating the Toblerone.
Is that Toblerone been there, by the way?
I finished the whole thing.
Sat there just eating it away.
I mean, you only left me 2 pieces.
Yeah,
but it's all gone, yeah.
Chenla said, do you honestly think Richarlison will win the Ballon d'Or one day?
No.
He'd have to go to like Barcelona and have to be amazing, wouldn't he?
To win the Ballon d'Or, you've got to either be like the best player at Real Madrid and win the European Cup, or you've got to be the best player at the best club, or be the best player at a World Cup. Haven't you? Like Modric.
He could win it if Brazil were amazing in a World Cup, because he's
that's what I'm saying.
Good, isn't he?
You'd have to be the best player. I mean,
I think, to be honest, Mbappe's about to dominate it. Once the other two are fully out the way, I think. Mbappe.
Said this last year. Last year, I remember when Juventus, and I've actually, funny enough, few people actually laughed at me for this. But I remember last year saying, you will never ever see these two players dominate football ever again, because they'll never ever. What Messi and Ronaldo were amazing at was dragging not average teams, good teams, because you have to be good teams, but dragging them to win trophies, and those two can't do that anymore. I mean, Juventus are in third place at the moment, and Ronaldo's amazing. Don't get me wrong, he's still amazing. Yeah, of course he is. But he used to be so amazing that he could drag average teams to the top, and so could Messi. And both of them can't do that. It's just age. It's nothing they've done. It's just age. And I don't think you'll ever see. And I don't think Mbappe will do this, because I think the world's changed. I'm not sure the next time we'll see a player so good that he drags his team to win things. That the Messi and Ronaldo era, it is officially done, by the way. It's officially over. But you're right, I think it'll be Mbappe who fills it.
He's the one real outstanding talent.
If Neymar wants to be considered as one of the best, number one, he'll stop getting sick when it's his sister's birthday. And number two, him and Mbappe will become a force that will take Paris Saint-Germain to win in the Champions League. And they couldn't do it last year.
No.
And if they want to be considered the best, they have to turn up. Because that's where Ronaldo and Messi have been so good. They turn up for the big games. They've always have. Ronaldo turns up for the big international games.
Outstanding. Hazel on the super chat. Is she still a patron?
Yeah.
She is, and she's give us a super chat. It's right, Hazel. I mean, she hasn't said anything on the super chat, but thank you very much for the super chat, Hazel.
I think she's still on Patreon. We've still got the WD-40 she sent us for
Christmas.
Still got. She just says, keep up with the good work, lads. Okay.
She once sent us a Christmas. She said the door was too squeaky. Yeah. And she sent us a bottle of WD-40 for Christmas. True story. And do you know what? The door is no longer squeaky because we used it.
And when we do any other business, which we should start doing really, because the world is getting a little bit brighter, we've still got Hazel's actual intro, which is boss.
And I've actually got a good idea for using it on the other thing as well. But yeah, the intro was amazing.
Let's do it. It's right, Hazel. Nishi Covers says, our left back is magic. It certainly is. Sophie Gallagher asks, do we think that Carlo will be backed well again this summer?
I think he will be. There might be people out there who don't agree with that, but I think he will be.
He's not started again already, has he?
But I think he will be. I think what I love about Carlo is I think Carlo doesn't sit there going, get me all these players. Yeah. Carlo's just chilled as anything, isn't he? And he's like, I'd like this, and if you can get me them. And I think because he is so chilled, it doesn't create friction where other people are like, get me this, and you're like, no, I won't get you that. Do you know, I won't. Do you know, like when we ask Ned to do things, and Ned's like, I won't do that for you. You know, he does it all the time, doesn't he? Right? And you can understand, and then, you know, but I think Carlo's like, could you get me 4 players? And they're like, for you, Carlo, I will. So,
I think the thing about it as well is we talked about this on the video we exclusively did for Patreon this week. Yeah. We were talking about it, was that once there's evidence there that this fella's actually taking you where you want to go, it's much easier to throw you away. And I think Everton really do, without trying to put that much pressure on them, I think they really do
put all the pressure
have to back him this summer, because it is a case of, it feels like they're almost in touching distance of making that next step. I'm not talking about winning the league and anything like that, but what I mean is there's real signs of progress, and there's real signs of a really good side there. If you add a few more, if you leave
this is a big step, though.
It is a big step.
You know,
he had Man City sniffing around and a couple of others.
One of your best players to commit to a long-term contract is huge, and there's not really too many players now you'd look at who Mina got 2 years left in the summer. They'll have to sit down and see what they want to do with that. But most of the players now that he wants are tied down to decent contracts. So now it's like adding. And the thing about it is, the funny thing about it is, you're coming to a point now where it's like, and I'm not saying we're at that point yet, but the better you get as a team, and this is what the top teams find is, the harder it is to sign the players, because you need real top quality. And I think we're just before. I think we've got to get 2 or 3 in. And then it's like you are looking then for less positions but more quality. And that's where it becomes tougher. But that's where you start looking, going, well, actually, we're only a couple of plays away. I know we're not quite there.
No.
But you know what I mean?
But what you are is you're a couple of players away from having a solid base with that bit of quality, which we've seen.
Biscuit base.
Hobnob base, I feel.
I
feel like you've got a hobnob base.
No, I think at the moment we're more like a shortbread base. That, when we got
four
centre backs is a definite short.
The problem is with that is when we haven't got the 4 centre backs and we've got slow players in midfield, we actually become a Rich C finger. No, a Rich C finger. Rich C finger.
No one wants a Rich C finger.
Rich C finger is you literally have to go like this with the Rich C finger, like that. It has to just.
No one wants a Rich C finger because once that thing is wet, it falls apart, and no one wants that. It's not satisfying for anyone, is it? A Rich T finger is not satisfying for anyone.
I'm just laughing at that integration we've got. I'm just literally doing business as we
Don't do business. We're doing
okay.
That's for another time.
Yeah, you'll love it.
I know you.
Scouser Blue Blood says just back from having a COVID jab, was in the Kenny Dalglish stand. Couldn't wait to get out. Boss, that you've had your jab though, mate. Outstanding. Edward Hodgkiss says if we bought Max Aarons, how much do you think we'll have to pay? It sounds like it's going to be 30 million, doesn't it?
30 million, and you can have John Joe. John Joe, they're coming up. He'd be brilliant for them.
He would be brilliant for them. He really would.
You can have Ellis Sims for a year. You can have Branthwaite for a year.
But he wanted Branthwaite, didn't he?
Branthwaite on loan. Anthony Gordon on loan.
They mightn't want to mix them up, might they?
Right.
Anthony Gordon's playing tonight.
John Joe Kenny. You can have him permanently, and we'll give you 15 to 18 for you. And I think that's a deal. I mean,
if only you were doing it. John Calder says, just moved in with my new girlfriend. She's changing from an Arsenal fan to a Blue. Love you, Robin. I mean, Robin, that's huge respect in some ways. But it does make me question your loyalty if you're an Arsenal fan. There's nothing wrong with being an Arsenal fan and having an affection for Everton.
No, I mean, do what you want.
But changing Robin from an Arsenal fan to an Everton fan, can you change your team? Can you? If she's not 100% Arsenal fan, John, then fair play to you and fair play to Robin. Mass respect for her. But if she's a fully blooded Arsenal fan, I'd rather she stayed an Arsenal fan, but had like a soft spot for Everton. I think you can juggle both. Kevin Campbell does.
Can you juggle both with a Rich T finger though?
No chance. You can't juggle anything with it. You honestly couldn't juggle cotton wool with a Rich T finger.
Breaking news.
breaking news, Ned.
For you. The official title of the new Spider-Man film is Spider-Man No Way Home. What are your initial feelings on that? Is it really? Yeah. What are your initial feelings on that?
Nedcam or don't speak.
Well, Tom Holland.
Thank you.
I don't know if you saw it. Tom Holland. Oh yeah. And the actor who plays Ned.
Yeah, Ned. Yeah.
Put
Yeah, they had different names.
And it was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm guessing No Way Home means they're trapped in another multiverse, maybe.
I think you just can't go home.
I literally think his sat-nav's broke.
I think you just can't go home.
For any Marvel fans, I think it's going to be a multi-universe is going to open up, and it's going to be Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, okay. But I think we already know
Andrew Garfield.
You're not inventing the wheel, are you?
I'm breaking down the title.
All right, that's fine. I only wanted to tell you.
I actually rang up Sam Raimi and Marvel and said, I've got an idea for you. Get Tobey Maguire in.
Oh yeah, I mean, what's Sam Raimi got to do with it?
Well, he's doing the Doctor Strange film.
What's he got to do with Spider-Man 3?
Well, Spider-Man's going to be in the Doctor Strange film.
I'm aware of that, but
there you go. It was my idea.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, you can barely dress yourself in the morning, but you're throwing...
Because I'm too busy on the phone to Marvel saying, listen, I've got a great idea for you.
It's fine. I mean, you didn't even put a light on yourself to light the Ned cam.
I didn't think I'd be on it. I'm doing some editing.
Of course you'd be on it.
You're on it.
We invented a camera for you, Ned cam.
I'm doing
in fact, I'm going to get a little thing put in the corner saying Ned cam. Not like with a little red light.
That'd be good.
That'd be amazing.
Gary Ward says, howdy, he's back. Gaz has been missing, his internet's been down, don't forget, he's been using his phone, but he's back. He has to boil his water, but he has internet. And
hang on. He has to boil his water, and he had no internet. No. Where does he live?
We know he lives in a bunker. You know that. The original. I don't get it.
Dick Hell moving in.
Dick Hell's moved in. Andy Walker says, yeah, he was getting a touch concerned about you missing for a while.
Someone just put a message on our Discord saying, Peddy, you aware you're not alive? And I was like, what? And then it was from before, but I was like, because we did that.
People have responded.
Again, we did that in the past. No, but remember, like, how many times we've done that where it hadn't gone live, and we'd be sitting there, and comments would be coming in, and then after about half an hour, someone would go,
why aren't you live?
Why aren't you live?
And we've been responding to
all these comments, and I mean, that's why we have Ned here, and it's why
he's never done it when I'm here.
That's what he's there.
No, it's why we want Ned here every day, but unfortunately...
Make sure you hit the like button if you're watching, thank you very much. Jamie B says, aye lads, reckon we'll get Aaron's. I think there's a good... I think
we'll try and get Aaron's.
I think we're in with a good chance, but I think for him, if it's a direct straight choice between Bayern Munich and Everton, and Bayern Munich kind of give him game time, he's going to want to go there, isn't he?
They haven't got the Ben Godfrey lean, though, have they?
No, we have got the Ben Godfrey lean, which is important, of course. Michael Glenn says, pleased to join you on this historical week. Anthony Young says, Ancelotti is a killer manager. Outstanding. Ollie Gale says, would you keep Moise Keane?
Would I keep Moise Keane? Not if a big fat contract came in for him. But listen, you know, the club will do what they have to do. The player will do what he feels he has to do, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, I think he's done really well this season. There's no doubt about that.
He did get 3 out of 10 in the ratings from L'Equipe on Sunday.
Yeah.
It's definitely L'Equipe. It's L'Equipe.
Fair enough. But I mean, that's just someone's opinion, though, isn't it?
Not that it's called L'Equipe.
No, that he got 3
Yeah, that's what
I mean, he got a few 3 out of 10s for Everton, let's be honest, last season, but he's still done well. But I honestly think if someone puts 35 million under Everton's noses this summer, then I think Everton will sell.
What do you think that would smell like?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd like to try. Someone send me £35 million so I can try. But I think if Everton got that, it'd enable them to do big business.
The kid doesn't want to be
If it was 35 million, I've asked John Blaine's done something for me on his phone's on mute. Done something for me before, which we'll get into. We'll do a video on, but essentially, if we got 35 million for Moise Keane, it'd mean Everton could fund £50 million players and pay them 150 grand.
The weirdness of FFP.
With FFP, so. Flynn Bob 58 Phillips says, grandson in Dubai. His father is a Wolves supporter. He'll only wear Everton clobber. Cries when he asks him to put a Wolves shirt on.
I mean, why would you ever want to put a Wolves shirt on?
He's obviously he's
blue.
I mean? He's been brought up properly by his grandparents. That's what I say. Martin Hennessy says, have you heard about the number of Liverpool players registered as asthmatic? Yeah. To be honest, we
knew this.
We knew this anyway. In that article, there was an article that basically mapped Liverpool's season out in September, which is unbelievably accurate. It's if that fella, if I can remember who he is and find it, I'd literally go to him.
Miguel
Tingio? Delaney? No, he's red. Or is he a United fan? Is he the red or United fan? I don't know.
No, it is. I read this in the summer about Liverpool. I remember coming in and saying about it, saying how many had been because
22 out of 35.
Because if anyone has watched the and I'm not associating these two things together.
No.
But if anyone's watched the Lance Armstrong documentaries and know how he got round, the things he did, having medical certificates for certain things that would allow you to take certain banned substances in case you were ever caught would give you the exemption. These are two different conversations. I don't 100%. Even know how they came together.
I don't.
But I'm just saying that's out there.
Interesting, very interesting. Rich Barnett says, I honestly wouldn't be surprised at tomorrow's announcement was we signed Lionel Messi.
I would. I'd be surprised.
I just think for FFP, I don't think we could get 500 grand a week to him without FFP destroying us. But fair play.
I mean, Dele Alli. What
videos he posted now?
He's just scored an unbelievable overhead kick.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Are they in Europe or something?
beautiful. Yeah, they're playing Wolfsberger.
Oh, they're not real Wolfsburg, though, are they?
No, they're not the real Wolfsberg. The Wolfsberger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Ian,
look at this.
Oh, what a touch. Oh, Delhi.
That's a proper overhead kick.
That's a beautiful goal.
That's a proper overhead kick. That's the kind of overhead kick that you'd see in the old cartoon, The Hurricanes.
Yeah, fair play.
That's a core.
Have you seen a thing come out today? The Athletic have done the piece on Mourinho, saying the players aren't happy. There's unrest and his methods aren't right. The players don't like the defensive side that he does and this, that, and the other.
They're not. They're
not good, is it?
They're not. They don't want that kind of fun, do they?
No.
They want other kinds of fun.
Ian Fenton says Richie will be in a race against Dom for the Ballon d'Or.
Fenton!
When we're in the running for the quadruple in about 3 years. Liam Monroe says, did you read the article in the Football Insider about us struggling to meet FFP this season? I saw a note something, but just put it to the back of my mind. Hope it's a cop-out journal. Well, we know that Everton have made losses, so therefore the FFP stuff would be a struggle. But if FFP is as stringent as it was, Liverpool will fail it, Manchester United will fail it because they've lost 180 million and 170 million. They'd be out of it. So with Barcelona, there's about 10. So it won't happen, mate. How can you quote FFP in a season when no one's allowed football fans in the stadium, which brings revenue in? And
nonsense.
They've had to put money, but it's not going to be a thing. Everton's biggest challenge isn't FFP. It's the Premier League profit and loss. That's Everton's biggest thing to get round, and that's a different thing altogether. FFP, Everton will be fine because the 50 million that Farhad Moshiri put in for the extra shares goes into that and writes it off, which brings it down within line. So they've got a handle on the FFP. That's fine. It's the Premier League rules which are hindering Everton. If they can somehow go head to head with the Premier League over their profit and loss rules, then Everton could spend... Everton's issue, and it's really frustrating, is that they've got hundreds of millions, if not billions, to spend through Usmanov, and they can't spend it because there's no way you can. It's one of them things with the rules don't allow it, which other clubs were allowed to spend that money. So it is what it is. Martin Hennessy says 17,000 on the waiting list, even at Bramley-Moore. I'm not getting a season ticket, am I? Well, I'm open. I really hope that Everton put pressure on. No, sorry. I'm hoping that Everton realise the amounts of people that want season tickets and stuff and up the capacity. They've said it can go to 60. John Darch retweeted yesterday, didn't he? The safe standard. John Darch, who is a real important person in terms of the safe standard. Yeah. He designs the seat and has had loads of conversations. He
led the fight.
He led the fight for safe standing. We've been over to Germany to see John. Went to a game, went to the Borussia Dortmund game last year against Leverkusen, didn't we? With John Dash, he's a he come to Shrewsbury, met us at Shrewsbury, where he had the seats, the rail seat and stuff. You know, and he wants Everton to install these upright seats so that it can get the capacity and everything. I think that'd be, for me, if Everton, you see, once the government pass it and it's up and it's the spade in the ground and everything else goes in, I think then people can start to push Everton on the safe standing aspect of it. Because I think Bramley-Moore, with say a third of that south stand, which I think it is, imagine a third, the lower third of that being safe standing. It'd be absolutely incredible. What was it like when we were in Dortmund? It was amazing, wasn't it? Being on that yellow wall. Incredible. It was incredible standing there. The atmosphere was just unbelievable.
It's a different way of watching football.
Oh, it's amazing. So I think that's certainly one way that the capacity can go up. Everton have also their seat dimensions. There's enough room for them to put another 3,500 seats in if they shorten them. And even by shortening them, they're still bigger than what the Park End is at Goodison. So, and they're well enough room with them seats. So Everton could actually bounce that capacity to 55,000 through seats alone. So I still believe, and I've said this, and I might be talking absolute nonsense here, but I still believe that when we kick off for the first time in that stadium will be 55,000 or more.
I think you've got to get the You've got to get the planning permission first, and then you can slowly just eke it up.
Yeah. That Tottenham's thing changed twice or three times during,
as I said yesterday,
during the build.
As
their
I said
capacity
yesterday, if we said that we wanted a capacity that was higher than Anfield, and all the clients would have come out, wouldn't they?
Yeah,
right. So we've come out at that number, and it's, you know, you get all the normal nonsense. But once we've got it and no one can say anything to us, then we can apply. All we're doing then is secondary applying. We've got the first thing in. That's all Spurs. Spurs got the number, which was like, you've got the stadium, and as they were building it, you go, can we have another couple? And people, well, yeah, okay. And then, can I have another couple? Yeah, okay. And that's all you need to do.
It's also proven that everything's in place. It's proving your transport's in place. It's proving your stadium can take it. Yeah. It's proving your concourses are wide enough. There's all of that stuff, and that's going on. And Everton have done all that. All Everton's projections have been taken into account. That's 62,000 in the... Because that's the very maximum it can ever be, isn't it? Given the way the ground is and the constrictions of it. All of that stuff's been built with that in mind.
Yeah.
So, but you eke it up. You just nudge it up and go, well, that's all right and that's all right. And that is how you do it.
How you getting on, Ned?
Almost done.
Oh.
It's in producing terms, it's bouncing now.
Is it processing?
Good. Yeah, it's encoding.
Super Kev interview with Super Kevin Campbell. Out soon, so make sure you check that one out. Rich Barnett says 2-0 win at Anfield, money in the bank, new stadium. Tell me another team that is going forward this way. Why wouldn't we be able to attract top players? Also got Carlo Ancelotti, of course, which is a huge attraction for any player. Ben H says our left back is magic and his name is Luca Digne. Lionsy 65 says evening lads and fellow Blues, was thinking about the money we would need to spend for Max Aarons. Do you think that the money we'll get for Moise Keane if he leaves will go straight back into the team, as well as the money we save from the Deadwood when the Deadwood leaves in the summer? Yeah, 100% will go back into the team. And don't forget, if Everton get 35 million from PSG, say, because they've got him, then the way FFP works, it's almost doubled at least for that. Because Max Aarons, what you get in isn't the same as what you spend out, even though it's on the books as it is. So if Everton bought Max Aarons for 30 million, Everton might only have to pay Norwich 10 million this season, 10 million next summer, and then 10 million the summer after or whatever. And then that's that written off, but it'll only show in our books as 10
Could we not sign him and make him change his name to USM Max Aarons?
Possibly.
Do it that way.
They
just do it that way.
Yeah. Sponsorship. Mike Barrett says, oh, hi, Luca Digne. Robert Oldfield Dean's contract. Eric Pirry says, good to hear about the new contract for the best fullback in the world. Dick L says, do you think Carlo would have eventually identified Tom Davies as a defensive midfielder had AD Boothroyd not beaten him through it? I don't know.
We had more time to do it though, didn't he? The end of the day, he's got a smaller pot to pick from.
Yeah.
Tom, he's identified Tom. I remember actually when he used to when he played
Kieran Dowell there.
Kieran Dowell there, and he obviously thought Tom has got the right skill set to play there, and it's worked.
And I think for Tom Davies, it's just about identifying a position, and we'll be doing a Tom Davies video yesterday, looking at it a little bit more. So make sure you check that out. Tomorrow. We'll be doing it tomorrow.
Yesterday's gone.
Exactly. AJ No says all of us here on Patreon deserve a personal apology from Ned for not being in on such a day yesterday. We wanted Ned Cam. Well, apparently...
Me too, because to be honest, I don't know what I'm getting for me 27 grand I'm paying for a uni course, which I sit at home and...
Well, what you'll get is you'll get a piece of paper at the end of it that you'll take to jobs, and they'll go, soz mate, everyone else has got one. Whereas... what you got to think about really is, if you had a piece of paper and you had like experience, everyday working experience of being in a production company like this one, where the standards are so high and, you know, people...
You get shouted at because your thumbnails aren't great.
It's not shouting. It's not shouting what it is.
Constructive criticism.
It's not even... What it is...
I mean, it is criticism.
It's not criticism. What it is, it's forcing someone to do something quicker. And, I mean, listen to things he's learned today. He's learned how to do multicam editing on Premiere Pro.
So have you?
Yeah.
I had to refresh myself because the way I do it at home is different from that because it's a different thing. And I haven't done it for that long. I just give me a refresh. You've learned how to do the colour thing on Photoshop as well. You didn't know how to do that, did you?
No.
No?
The shortcut thing, yeah.
Shortcut thing, see? You're learning things all the time.
I've also been messing around with the colour correction on OBS, which is
there you go. We give you a problem to solve and you solved it. And yet what you do in uni is you learn nothing, essentially. So even if you got that degree, you get into your first job and be like that, you know, that gif where it's like, or the video on Twitter, it's like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. That'll be you on your first day, because you wouldn't have those, but you're getting that life experience.
That's the problem. I feel for a lot of, most people now, if they're doing uni and they go after a job and it's meant to be something practical like engineering.
Like engineer. I mean, I'd like to think if you were going for a job as an engineer, that you'd know what you were doing. I mean, I'd like to think that. Well,
my course it's in the Faculty of Engineering. So if I went and got say if I went doing this now.
Hang on, it's in the Faculty of Engineering.
Audio Engineering,
and you watch YouTube channels about YouTube videos about serial killers.
Correct.
Fair play. Paddy B says, how likely is safe standing going to be passed anytime soon in the UK?
It'd be done by now if it wasn't fair.
Yeah, for
It'd
COVID.
be done by now because the clubs are putting pressure on. Don't forget, Celtic have already got it. Man United were getting it. Wolves were getting it.
Shrewsbury have got it.
What happened to Shrewsbury got?
I know, it's true. MILF capital of the
MILF
UK.
capital of the Welsh border.
Outstanding.
But don't tell Hostels, so I said that.
No, don't.
No, it was on its way. And listen, when this is all done, and you know Boris is looking to do nice things for the plebs, that'll be one of the nice things he does, because it'll be like let them eat cake. That's what it'll be like. It'll be like let them stand. That's what he'll do, because he'll be looking for those shortcuts for the next election, and one of them will be for safe standing. I mean, imagine even like he did the double and went, and you can have bevies in your seats. Oh my God!
Imagine if he sacked Hancock as well.
Germany was amazing for that. But I think it's definitely coming, Paddy. I agree with Ped. If COVID wouldn't have arrived, I think safe standing would have arrived, because United were pushing for it. Wolves, don't forget, have already got a section of there behind a goal that is capable of safe standing. Tottenham Hotspur have got it in their stadium, safe standing, which you're allowed to do at the American football, but you're not allowed to do in the Premier League, which is bonkers. So it's already in place, isn't it? I think Everton will have it, so I think it's definitely going to happen.
Wouldn't am I right in saying if you have a whole stand that's you can convert into standing, like the one on your YouTube channel, on the Twitter? Does that double the capacity of the whole stand if it's standing?
No, it depends.
It depends what the ratio is. Dortmund does, because Dortmund's ratio is 1 to 2.
Yeah.
So essentially 1 seat becomes 2 standing spaces.
Yeah. The big dash
it's about the pitch.
Yeah.
It's about
the big dash doesn't think we're going to get 1 to 2 in this country for
not yet.
But it's like
but you'll get 1 to 1.5.
But it's like the stands though. Like what he's saying is it's like anything else. You've got to get it in first. Get it in. Show that it's fine, and then you start open it a little bit. So you've got to get it in first. You've got to change the minds of people before you go, oh, you can have double the people in. That's scary. What you got to do first, just slip it in first, and go from there.
Slip it in and then see how far you go.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Check out, if you haven't seen those videos when we went to Germany, check them out. The safe standing one, how it works, and certainly how Dortmund do. It's really interesting. But have a look at it, because it's really good. It's amazing how they do it. Changes the atmosphere unbelievably. Certainly does. Where are we? Daniel Hignett says Mashiri isn't getting enough credit here, boys.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
Wear the Mashiri
he might just mean in general
or something.
We give him credit.
He's clearly not a patron?
No.
Did a video on him this week on Patreon.
We've bigged them up on Patreon.
On Patreon.
But Mashiri's done amazing things at the football club. And is getting, hopefully now, has got the people he wanted in the right positions to take the club forward. So, you know, he's definitely, we give him credit because he deserves it. Phil McCauley says, "Oh, Brian. Just
Brian.
Hello, Lawrence.
We're exclusive on Twitch now, Brian. Oh, you.
Just a quick one, lads. Do you think as soon as the shovel hits the ground in Bramley-Moor Dock, a certain Mr. Usmanov will pop up, or do you think he will remain forever in the background? The Red Echo also says we have 31,000 season ticket holders with 17,000 on the waiting list. surely the stadium should be more than 60k to start, rather than 52. Well, I just think it should be more than 52. Obviously, I thought we had 32,000 season ticket holders, and with the 17, obviously makes it 49. Then with the 3,000 away fans, you're at 52 already without any match day tickets. And I think you want match day tickets as well. Who's done that? Has someone done that?
Well, it's not real, is it?
No, but I mean, as someone, it's not like Ned hasn't done it.
No, nothing to do with us.
Good. Terry McKenna says, so I totally agree. It's got to be bigger than that. Terry McKenna says, agree with you, Ped. I think Iwobi played his best game at right wing back. Good news about Dean. David Avallow, Luca Digne signed a new contract. James Shorting says, really enjoyed the Hammers video, lads. Any other videos like that coming soon? We're going to record a Tom Davies one tomorrow. Let me know if there's what other ones you'd like to see, James, and we'll see what we can do. Dick L says, RS fan at work today trying to tell me that they are in relegation form, genuinely thinking they're in a relegation scrap. I tried to explain that 40 points is enough to stay up, but apparently he's researched it, and West Ham went down on 42. Liverpool might be in a relegation scrap, but Everton certainly aren't. They certainly are drama queens. Liverpool will win at the weekend against Sheffield United, and people will talk about them finishing runners-up again. They're not. That's just nonsense. They're far too good to be anywhere near anything other than the European places, so tell them to ignore it. Lozenges says, even the lads' first restaurant you're going to when they reopen, mine's got to be the UNI on Rapid Street. I don't know.
Anywhere but spoons.
In Liverpool, Lozenges.
Rapid Street, I don't even know where. Mine would probably be... Sorry, that was theme tune from How I Met Your Mother. It would probably be the Duke Street, Duke Street market thing. What's it called? Duke Street Market, food market. Yeah, food hall. Okay. Beautiful, because you can have there's all different, and it's all beautiful. And you can get a nice steak from one place, and chips from another place, and Indian. It's all beautiful, nice.
Have you been to Forbidden Planet on Duke Street?
Forbidden Planet on Duke Street?
Yeah.
No, I'm not aware of a place called Forbidden Planet on Duke Street.
Neither was I until a couple of years ago. Look it up, because it's amazing.
Well, what is it?
It's basically the best. I'm not going into detail, but it's the best shop for like.
You mean the comic book street shop?
Yeah.
That isn't on Duke Street.
It's on Duke Street.
It isn't a restaurant.
And it isn't a restaurant.
No, I'm just saying. Have you been to Forbidden Planet on Duke Street?
Well, I've been to Forbidden Planet. I've not been to the one on Duke Street because there isn't one on Duke Street.
It's on Duke Street, isn't it?
No, it's not on Duke Street. Take my word for it, as someone who used to be a taxi driver. It's not on Duke Street.
Right, it mustn't be there.
It's on Bold Street.
Elliot Brimage says Michael Keane.
And it's not a restaurant.
Elliot Brimage says Michael Keane features in the FIFA 21 Team of the Week. Very good. Lynn Babington says, with the sad news about Gordon McQueen having an early onset of dementia, they now pushing to ban players heading the ball in training. Eventually, do you think they'll try and ban it in matches?
No, I don't think they'll ban it from matches.
No.
I think what'll happen is if they did get it, I don't know how you can ban it from training. I know they're banning it from kids training, and or they're going to use certain balls for heading practice. What'll happen is organically if kids stop playing football with their head, then the game will change for that reason. And I think what'll probably happen is things like, and this is sad to say, but things like crossing will start going out of the game. You know, the game will change for that reason. Do you know what I mean? It's like when the back pass rule went. What I know it stopped time wasting, but what it also stopped was the goalie picking the ball up and picking it up and hoofing it down the pitch. Yeah. You watch any video of the 80s.
It is dead mad when
whether you watch Everton, whether you watch Liverpool, whether you watch
hit the like button if you're watching. Thank you.
Any team, The goalie used to pick it up and he used to knock it down the pitch, and the football would start in the other half. Everyone did it. Everton, Liverpool. Liverpool never played great football, but it started playing. No one knocked it round from the back because the pitches didn't suit it, and that's how you played. But when the pass back rule come in, goalkeepers had to get better with their feet. So what happened? Goalkeepers started to learn to play football, and now we have it where we're playing these little short goal kicks. People are taking it, passing it, and then moving up the pitch by breaking the press. So what will happen is if kids stop learning how to use the header, then the game will change. And I think naturally over years, not now, but over time, heading will go out of the game in a big way, naturally. So there won't be any rule, because that'd be like indoor footy, wouldn't it?
I don't know whether it'll go out of games, but what I think will happen is, because I think heading the ball in a game, it'll be that infrequent that it may... it depends what the evidence... If they keep bringing the evidence up and it's there, then I don't know, maybe you would change it.
I think the big problem with the evidence is, Baz, is that the evidence... And I'm not... By the way, I'm not saying there's not... I think the evidence is saying people from 20, 30 years ago had brain injury. Now, there will not be evidence of anyone now getting it for a while. That's the problem that they face. Now, listen, you can go in a lab and you can smack a modern ball at it, and you'll know how much that head wobbles, and then you can prove, especially in a kid.
God, I appreciate with kids not doing.
But what I would say is, I don't think we head the ball as much as now.
No.
I'm sure we could get the numbers from somewhere. I don't know, but I wonder how many headed goals there are getting scored in the Premier League now to what there were in the 80s and 90s.
But it's also, then days would have been just training drills of heading the ball, the heavier balls, heading it. So if they stop doing it in training as much, then that obviously will take the pressure off them. And then in a game, if it's less and less because people are knocking it round, not heading it as much. So therefore the reduction.
But also what I would say is though, and this is a mistake I made a while ago, was it's very easy to get caught up in this idea that because balls were heavier, more brain injuries would occur from heavy balls, which they would. But now footballs are lighter, they travel faster, so you've got to think of the velocity of how hard the ball hits a kid's head now. And that's the thing, I think if you, don't get me, someone like Gordon McQueen, who's like a legendary player, put his head in and all that kind of thing, you know, they will have grown from like 5, 6 and gone like that all the way through. Heading it, learn how to heading it. And there'll be a lot of ex-footballers sort of, I would imagine, starting to feel a little bit worried about the situation. You know, we've had players at our club that were renowned for
heading the ball
and the kind of goals they scored. But I think it's going out the game anyway. I think you don't see as many headed goals anymore. You don't see as many 50-50s. You think about like years ago, like when players fashion you and Mabbott and all the elbows and players coming off the pitch. We've already started to sort it out we now know we have the concussion sub. Maybe after the other day, Burnley player went off and it was his jaw. And I seen someone comment going, "Oh, look at them cheating by using the concussion sub." And it's like, it was his head. How do you know how that affects him? So, yeah, I think naturally then you'll see it start to go out the game anyway. Because it is going out the game.
Daniel Hignett says, someone pinched me, hammers on cod, talking to people at Merseyside is blue. Paddy Stapleton says, Paddy Stapleton, guys, honestly, thanks for making this channel work. It keeps us all up to date with all things Everton, especially closer to match day. Thank you very much. Jeterix Jones says, Merseyside is blue, still celebrating from East Texas. Is right, mate. Daniel Hignett also says it wasn't us not giving Mashiri enough credit, just people in general. Stephen Poynton says, when are you back on 888 Ped to give that weapon of a Liverpool fan loads?
I'm on this week and I'm on next week. And then I think I'm recording the week after as well for it. So I might be, I don't know, they seem to like me. I don't know what buttons I press, but they seem to think I push the right buttons. But I'm definitely, next week's is funny. I won't ruin it, but it's funny because actually I'm actually a bit of a tag team with James next week. It's quite funny. Take that as you...
Ben James says the scouts need a shout out for their work in getting in Ben Godfrey. What would you like the name of Bramley-Moore Dock Arena to be? Sorry, Bramley-Moore Dock to be arena, park or a stadium?
It'll be USM Arena, I imagine.
Yeah.
Or some variant of that.
Yeah.
What do you prefer? Like park? See, I don't see with the new ground. I don't see it as a park. I don't know why. I think park's an old-fashioned name because it actually literally was a park.
I think I'm just like Bramley-Moore Dock.
Yeah.
I don't think it doesn't need like a stadium or whatever. I don't think.
I think it'll be called.
It'll be called USM
Arena.
Arena. I think. Yeah, I think that's what it'll be.
Ivy Lane.
Or do you think USM Stadium sounds better than Arena?
I don't know. What's Tottenham's? The Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, isn't it? Stadium's a bit more football-y. Arena sounds like somewhere you'd go and watch music. I don't know. I think it'll need two names. It'll need like a local name, which has already been christened as Bramley-Moore, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's the Bramley-Moore for us. But it'll be called like the USM. USM have already paid for it, haven't they, essentially? Well, I mean, sort of. They've paid for the right to talk about it.
Steve John says, is Ben Godfrey the signing of the season?
I don't know.
He said,
I want to come out the end of the season saying James Rodriguez is the signing of the season.
Well, he is there, isn't he? Heard Alan Shearer say, this is Isako said, heard Alan Shearer say he practiced his heading 100 times every day.
Yeah,
and that's the problem, isn't it?
That's the problem, isn't it? That's the real problem, is that. But don't get me wrong, footballers will need to practice headering. But just going back to what I was saying, I know there's an irony in this because Man City won with a header of the weekend, but how much do you think Pep Guardiola's game plan is built on headering the ball? Yeah. Sometimes a ball will be crossed in, of course it will, and it's a consequence. But you've also got the flip side of it. Look at Wolves. Wolves' best player was a guy who scored with his head all the time. And look what happened to him. And I'm not saying I think as time goes on, people football will be seen as very different.
I still think
there's a place for it.
Heading will always be in the game. I just think it's I think the way they practice and the way they train will be different. Because I think some clever person, Baz, will come up with something that doesn't hurt your head and you can practice. Yeah, I thought the kids have those, the thingy ones, like spongy balls. Have you ever soaked them with water? You don't. They're not going to be soaked inside, are they? Some clever person will come up with something that has the weight and the density of a ball, but doesn't carry the velocity or something. Yeah, something, I don't know. Who knows? What's this space? 82 says, Kale talked about his heading practice in his book, hung a ball from a tree and headed it for hours. So he got so good. Yeah, definitely. USM will be the new stadium name, I reckon, says Steve John. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that one. Would USM have signed a deal for 30 million to have first dibs on the stadium, basically? So they've got right of refusal of the naming rights. I mean, so they'll either become the £200 million naming rights for that, for the deal, or the setting. Or they'll give us 30 million for nothing. Or the setting. That doesn't seem logical. No, the setting the bar. Brian Garside says, "Our lads have missed all the live shows this week due to work. Has anyone mentioned the quality of the wall passes of Tom Davies, called 1-2 in my time?" Yes, we have. We'll be doing more on him tomorrow. And pass and move forwards for the return pass, thereby set attacks in motion. Also the longer passes he's produced, most notably to Richarlison. Yeah, and we will do tomorrow as well. Dawn Williams says, this week just keeps getting better. Great news about Dean. Kevin Blazeta says, gentlemen, in your breakdown of the remaining 14 games has me hopeful for Europe. How many of the current squad would you consider starters for a team that wants to consistently be in Europe? Well, it's about improving. Everybody's improved this year. So for a team that wants to get into Europe on a regular basis, you have to add to it so that you look and go, as long as we perform, we're going to be in Europe. Yeah. And then we've got the quality to actually get into the Champions League and maybe then actually win something. But you also have to keep adding to that. So there's good enough players there for Everton to keep performing for the next few years, but you always have to add to it because you have to recycle people out of the team so they become the bench. I've seen something there on in the YouTube comments, someone say, would you get rid of Andre Gomez? Well, we need another mobile midfielder, that's for sure. Andre Gomez has got a place in the squad because he's good on the ball. But he's a starter. For a lot of people, he's a starter. But if Andre Gomez becomes a bench player, that shows you the level of your squad has gone up to another level. Ned, put your cam on.
Well, I was talking to someone on Twitter, it wasn't long ago, and he was saying players need to shift out the club, and he basically picked 11 players and then like shift out Sigurdsson and Gomez. Let's not forget, if we get Europe this season, players like Gomez and Sigurdsson, they become key, don't they?
Yeah.
Sigurdsson, he's your captain, and you know what I mean. You might not start your Premier League games, but you're playing a Europa League game against Frankfurt, or someone like mediocre like that. That German team or an Italian team. Sigurdsson.
I mean, you're gonna have the Frankfurt fans.
Frankfurt fans are going to be up in arms now, Ned.
Just going to go mad.
No, but you're right. People do this thing where they chase everybody out the club. Let's cut them 10 players, and you're like, well, you need a squad. And you need players who have a good quality.
Yeah. Players like Gomez and Sigurdsson, they'll be class in the Europa League.
It's not just the Europa League, though, is it? There's games that, you know, Andre Gomez started the derby at the weekend. I know he didn't play he didn't play great, but the first half an hour he was fine. He started it because he keeps the ball. He can recycle the ball well, so that's why he's in.
On Twitter, Anita, who's done something very clever by tweeting us rather than being in the comments. So she's very clever, that Anita. That's sneaky, that.
Is it?
She's sneaky because she's cut through all the noise.
How?
By tweeting us.
Because you really shouldn't be on Twitter. You shouldn't be on your phone when you're on this.
I should.
I mean, I've had about 7 comments saying tell Ped to
couldn't care less.
No, well, that's the kind of the response that they
you literally sit on your phone while we're making videos, so don't start with me. She said...
You tell me who's on the phone.
She said, what about USM Goodison Arena? I mean, come on, that's a little bit... It's a little bit...
A ruin of Cornet Arena.
Goodison is Goodison. This is a new chapter. We didn't call Goodison Anfield, did we? So...
No, good shout. Good shout. Joe York says if United are happy to let him go, we need to be all over Dean Henderson. Why are they letting him go?
Yeah, it's talked today that he could leave.
Really?
They were saying Tottenham's like one of the number 1 destinations, aren't they? And then somewhere else.
People signing for. Well, he will with Mourinho, won't he?
Better than Lloris, isn't he? Lloris is so overrated.
Rob Hughes says never mind heading, ban boxing.
I mean, that's a completely different sport, and it's got nothing to do with football, and I couldn't care less.
But you're right. I mean, why boxing is an atrocious thing, really.
But don't boxers know that they're going to be punched in the face?
Your body doesn't prepare for getting smacked.
Well, it's not about being prepared. If you're a boxer, you know you're getting punched in the face. You're taking the risk before you get into the ring. That's on you. Football's a little bit different. None of these people who are getting head injuries knew or thought they would get injuries. And it's not only that, it's the response from the FA on the head injuries, where for years, well, it's not even the FA, it's the PFA. The PFA have literally buried their heads in the sand for years on this. They were told there was problems and they ignored it, and they had the money and they had the responsibility to do something about it, and they didn't.
Okay.
And it might have set it back by years. They were told by the family of
Jeff
Astle that and they were like, no, nothing to do with us. And the fella in charge was like, no. And anyone who watched the documentary on Jeff Astle, they were a disgrace. They basically just put their arm and just went, whatever. And they didn't. Boxing have got a protocol, and I'm not a massive boxing fan, but I think if you walk into a ring, you know what could happen. I think it's football. Don't get me wrong, football has been terrible as well. The concussion policy has been a disgrace. Footballers stumbling around the pitch. Footballers telling the doctor, no, I'm all right. And it's like, you're not though. And it's only this season that they've got their house in order with the concussion sub. And actually now, medics saying to players, no, you are not going back on the pitch.
Okay.
That's so...
Anthony Clay says, sitting here with a broken leg, which I did walking the dogs. And the Blues have cheered me up this week, up the Toffees. Have you broken your leg walking your dogs? I mean,
it must have been walking Big Digby, and it's just
maybe another dog. Maybe another dog come in and slide tackling him. And it's caught
that though, isn't it? I don't know.
Maybe, you know what I mean? It's a doggy dog world.
I don't know. Michael Glenn says nickname the dog. Liam Munro said, yeah, but we'll just end up calling it the dog, won't we? Other people have said you broke your leg walking a dog. I mean, it's the question.
There's got to be a story in there, and I feel like he's only given us a partial thing on it. Like,
he has. I'm going down to see whether he's come back into it. Come on, Liam. Or Anthony.
Was Jordan Pickford anywhere around?
Stop it.
Just want to ask the question.
Just stop it.
Just asking a question. Why was it? Was it a red?
Constantly spamming 95, absolute weapon.
Yeah, just ban
as
them.
if they've got nothing better to do with their life.
Ban them.
Froome Pinto says, "Hi Baz, what do you make of that? Mateta scored a good goal the other day for Palace. Do you think we should have been after him as an alternative striker?" Well, he was someone I picked out last summer, playing in Germany. Don't get me wrong, he's still raw, but French striker, quick. If he settles at Palace, they'll have got themselves a good deal. He's on a loan, isn't he? 18-month loan, I think it is. Or a 6-month loan with an option to buy this summer. But his goal was delicious the other night. Brilliant back heel, talent.
Beautiful.
But he is a good player. And he's not like perfect, don't get me wrong, but he's a good player and definitely good for them. Anthony Young says, "Is that a ball or a trophy?" It's a ball. It's a ball. And we can kick it about if we want. That means, we do at times. AJ No says, "Ped, I asked you in the summer, but after the events of last week, as a Labour member, what's your opinion on Keir Starmer?" Oh, God. Didn't realise once I started it was going to be political.
No, very poor.
There is no opinion on him.
No, there is. He's absolutely awful, is the opinion.
Carlos EFC says, "Now last year at Goodison, how should we work it out that everyone gets a chance to see a final game at Goodison?"
No,
I don't think it will happen, mate. It's how good you couldn't say to season ticket holders you can't go because Fred wants to go because he hasn't been a match for 10 years. That it's sad, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is, mate.
I mean, maybe it'll mean that like any cup games will be.
Might just be all in or whatever.
The League Cup games, if you get home games, you know what I mean, where people sometimes don't go.
Yeah.
Be like Everton, be like, this could be your only opportunity. It is what it is. I'll be honest, I can't really sit here and say, oh, I feel bad for anyone, because I don't. Because at the end of the day, people who have their season tickets and will have had them for a while have backed the club, haven't they? And I'm not that. I know it's difficult because people financially can't always have season tickets, but that's just the way it is now, isn't it?
Very difficult, isn't it? Difficult to get anywhere near it if you're trying to just grab tickets. And again, this all plays into why we do need a bigger capacity than what they're saying, so that people do get the opportunity to go and people do get the opportunity to be a season ticket holder. If you can, and obviously if you can't, if you haven't got the money because of employment or whatever you've got, or there's other commitments that are far more important than Everton in life. But if you do have that money 1 month that you can maybe get to a game, then you want the opportunity to be able to go. And the only way you can do that is by having a bigger capacity.
Everton have got that. I suppose one of the other things, and this is the other thing I would say about the capacity as well. Everton, don't forget the capacity could be 60,000 with safe standing or rail seating. And I think Everton have been looking at that. And for Everton to put that anywhere near the plans, they're obviously clearly open. So a few years back, Bill Kenwright was like, I'm not having it. I don't want to go back to terracing. It would hurt, the relationship between, the family of the 96 and everything that's come from the reason why we have all-seater stadiums. That's changed, because I think we've got to a point now where we understand that rail seating's very safe, and it wasn't necessarily terracing that led to what happened. So Everton are in a unique position now, because they might have a plan. They've obviously set aside enough space that the ground can be bigger. So they've got to sit down now and they've got to listen to the demands, because we have 40,000 every week. It's 37. Well, it's 37,000 Evertonians, isn't it? So you factor in. Don't forget the away end is only going to be like 2,900, isn't it?
That's what it is now.
Yeah. So you factor that in, and you're saying, like, well, that still leaves what?
It's just under 50,000. It's 50,000, just under.
No, but I'm saying that in terms of so the waiting list is
17,000. So you take.
So you're talking 47, 54, 57, aren't you?
No.
67.
37,000 plus 17. Yeah,
It's
so
50,
47.
47.
And 54,000.
Which is what I said before.
57.
That's what I
with
said.
the 3.
Right, that's what I said. You're making me think about...
Yeah, but you've got the 32,000 season ticket
But the
holders.
point being, my point being was, so that takes it up to what we are at the moment. Just over what we are over. So, Everton have to... Everton have to factor in, they will have perimeters, they will know. Don't forget, like if you go watch American sport, American arenas or stadiums purposely get built smaller than what they are. When Orlando were building their stadium and they were getting 60,000 in this bigger stadium, we were like, what are you doing? You're building it for 30. And they're like, we spoke to the owner at the time, he was like, yeah, but you build it small. Because if you build it small, you create demand, you can put the ticket prices up. Now, I'm not saying that's what Everton are doing, but Everton have got to factor certain things into the building of this. How often would it be full if it was over 60,000? You know, what's the sweet spot? What is it? How do we keep... It's because, you know what? Liverpool have been doing it for years, haven't they? Oh, we've got a 20 million year waiting list. The dinosaurs are trying to get on our gaff, you know what I mean? They make it so you can't pass season tickets down the line. I had family members who used to be stewards at Anfield, and if you found someone had a season ticket and it wasn't their season ticket, it was like their son had it, instantly taken off them.
Take them off
them, and that's it. So Everton have got to look at what that demand is, because it's great walking around.
But they reckon the 53,000 is the sweet spot.
But in the next couple of years,
that waiting list is going to be 20,000.
That might go up, and if that sweet spot suddenly goes up, people are like, Everton are boss, we want to go back, we like this, there's a new stadium. If suddenly that waiting list starts going up again, then Everton will go, well, our sweet spot for a waiting list has got to be 15,000.
Don't forget, Sunderland went from 17,000 to 47,000. Local Park was 17,000.
No.
And they got 47, and I know it's dropped down, but they still get 30,000, which was, 13,000 more than they were getting anyway. Because you do get, Derby County was the same, you do get a kick on from a new stadium.
I suppose it's what's profitable without having to worry either way.
Marley Hope says, just watch the James Rodriguez video. Great insight into how he helps the team and how he's improved the thing, what the YouTube lot are missing out on. That will go out on YouTube, but not yet. But nice one. Stuart Thompson says, you're a lucky guy, Baz. I very nearly put an orange club in with the Toblerone I sent. I was going to suggest you eat it if we won the derby. It's making me feel sick, don't. Eamon Byrne says, what a weekend. May I give a shout out for Toffee Dan, who joined my lockdown party after winning the stadium news. Thanks to my lad Chris for the birthday wishes on here. I'm still smiling and very happy. It's right, Eamon. Michael Wood says, hello lads, catching up with this later. Just wanted to ask what the stadium announcement now means financially. Now that it's been approved, is it a separate entity you talked about? Does this now mean all that he spends can go into the club's books? Do you think we've waited to get a sleeve sponsor until this moment, so 100% of it will go towards FFP? The stadium, the minute it's given full planning permission, which obviously it hasn't yet because it's got to go to the government, the minute that happens, the stadium can become a separate thing from Everton Football Club. It will become its own thing. At the moment, the finances go into the books of Everton. The minute it becomes its own thing, it becomes its own company. So whatever, the Bramley-Moore Stadium Company or whatever. And that will take money away straight away from not being on our books. The losses will not be carried by Everton, they'll be carried by that company. Because obviously that will get its money then to build it. So that straight away helps the finances of Everton in terms of, when you look at the books, or you've lost 50 million there, yeah, but it's a stadium, doesn't matter, it's still a loss. So that'll be something that happens straight away. What are you saying about the sleeve sponsor? Are they just holding on to that? So
yeah, because they're asking for big money for the sleeve.
For proper money now.
They're asking for
value.
They're asking for big money for the sleeve sponsor. They're not willing to give a piece of don't forget, you can only have 2 pieces of real estate on your share. One's there and one's there. They're not giving that one away for free, or they're not giving away cheap. What they're saying is we're serious, and we want serious money, and it's pointless signing a contract for 3 or 4 years unless someone's going to give us serious money. So that will stay blank till someone plays ball.
Yeah, agreed. Stephen Hill says, can you share what which last man standing app is? Last fan standing. That's your first mistake, not last man standing.
Fan.
Last fan standing app is, I've looked on the Play Store, but there's a few with that name. Try the last fan standing.
Yeah, that would help.
Free. Quiz games. Download it if you haven't. Free to play. You can win stuff on it. Go and try it. Derek Hulton says, hello youngsters and hello Gary.
Thanks.
What a week to be a Blue. Stadium plans already on the desk at Westminster. Lucas signs an extension, which now means you'll be playing at Bramley Moor. When you look at the history of our left back, it's the most sought after following number 9 at Everton. Who'd have thought after Bainesy we'd get another giant in that position? And the next in line is already at the club in Nkunku. Time to work on a Seamus replacement who's been the most amazing value football in Everton's history. Our centre-back seems sorted. Ancelotti's manager, Big Mosh funding alongside his unofficial sidekick. I just can't understand why we still have doubters. 1966 until now and forever be a Blue. It's a fantastic club to say I'm part of. Is right, Degsy?
Well said, Degs.
Simon Bracegirdle says, hi Gary, 7 wins to go. Exactly. Stuart Thompson says, I believe Toffee TV should let me do the watch-alongs under the Toffee TV banner. No. I'll behave honest.
No.
I mean, the fact you've said honest worries me. I'm not going to lie. RCO2 says, do you lads reckon we can afford Bailey, Rabiot and Aarons this summer? Or would that only happen if we sold players? We'd have to sell Moise Keane straight away to fund stuff like that. Definitely.
With Charleston fuming because he's not in the FIFA team of the week.
Is he? Hilarious. Gary Ball says, I'm in Memphis, Tennessee, where we had a foot of snow and ice last week, along with single-digit temperatures. It led to froze, burst pipes and broken water mains that caused Memphis Light Gas and Water to issue a boil water advisory due to low pressure.
Ooh. Good song, that, Memphis, Tennessee.
Georgie, we'll answer this tomorrow when it's just patrons only. Just for like advice on life. We can't do it today. We have to think about it. We're finishing in a minute.
Don't open up the well.
Dick L says, patron is 80p a week. I honestly don't understand any Everton fan not paying that for all the extra content. 80p is nothing. Have one less Kit Kat and sign up, Everton fans. Lossinger says, I fixed the heading issue. Magnets in the ball and make the pitch metal. I mean, that's one way, I guess.
What? But what about the kicking the ball issue?
Might be like a lighter mag, I don't know. I mean, you want to come up with concrete football as a World Cup, so there you go. James Shorting says, don't necessarily have to read this out. Okay, I won't then. Oh, it's in. No, I will actually.
Anchor, man.
Would be interested in video and possibly some of the young lads coming through and Nkunku, Branthwaite and Yango Gordon and where they could fit in the future. About Gomez, other ones about Gomez and his future. Where would Gabaman help us? Yeah, Gabaman's an interesting one. We were waiting for his name to come up. I did see it before, but I swerved over it in the YouTube comments, because normally that's the first one. John Osborne wants Irvin Lozano or Leon Bailey. Yes, definitely. Rich Barnett says, we can call it whatever we want, but it'll always be the Doc. Yeah. All right, lads, have you ever considered doing video reactions outside the grounds?
No.
Well, I mean, we did, but it's just not the same, mate, and they wouldn't want it to be like Arsenal fan TV. No. And Scousers just aren't the same. Red men do it, and even they say it's a bit rubbish. So, I just wouldn't do it, mate. I want to go home and do my own thing, and I wouldn't want like Evertonians losing it on an aftermatch thing, and then people ripping them and the club over it because they've just been that emotionally wound up after it. But I just don't think our fans would be the same anyway. We don't have the same like thing as like Arsenal, do we?
No.
We don't though, do we?
Nobody does though.
They're mad.
Nobody
well, that's
does.
it, isn't it? That is
Arsenal fan TV is just a very one-off thing.
Yeah, definitely.
To be honest, I mean, there is room for probably a more considered after-match reaction at the ground. But what? Yeah, a more considered chat with somebody, maybe 2 or 3 people. But it's having the time. It's having the time to do the stuff. It's having the people to do the stuff as well.
That's what it is.
It's having the time to do it, to get it sorted, to get it out. It's not, this is not as easy as we make it look.
Ben's Bjorn Giori Kormos says, hi lads, love your show. Thank you very much, mate. Much appreciated. Mathew Jones says, what's your view on Dom featuring in the next 2 games? Will it be a good amount of time in each one? Yeah, I think Saturday proved that he's on his way back. He the sprint for the penalty was incredible. And I think that he's got a week before the Southampton game. I think he'll be back in against Southampton, definitely. Tom, I mean, you could always send a reaction video in if you wanted to do it yourself. And we do fan reactions like that. We should ask for them, didn't we? But it's just that people weren't regular with them.
No.
So it become a different thing to do. But if a few of them want to send a reaction in about how you feel after the game, just a minute and a half, 2 minutes, your thoughts, send it in, because this channel is for giving other people their views. It's difficult at the moment because of COVID. So we'd normally have 4 people in here for a lot of our shows. We can't do that at the moment. So it is me and Ped and stuff. And the big problem with trying to get extra people is that people can't always do it and people let you down. But it'd be good if you and anyone else wanted to send in match reactions after it. We'd certainly package it up and put it out. Have your view on Everton. So just get in touch if that's what you want to do. No problem at all. Wildlife on a super chat, thank you very much, mate, says, do you think Ancelotti will still be the manager in 2025?
It's difficult to say, isn't it? It's 4 years. So
said he wants to be. He's still got a contract for another 3 years.
Hopefully he will be. Hopefully he will.
I think it depends. Don't forget, he could quite easily be the figurehead of that and allow it. Alex Ferguson did United till he was 70. Roy Hodgson's 73. And he's still the Palace
it's like
manager.
what needs to be achieved and what's the time frame.
Yeah. So he could quite easily, if he's still fit and healthy and loving it, then why wouldn't he be? Don't forget, he's got in David and Duncan, he's got 2 younger assistants. So yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Okam's Blunderbuss says, could you start giving Carlo a rating in your match ratings?
No.
Do you never give Carlo a rating?
No, because it's the player ratings.
I was just wondering.
You can't give the manager, because the manager might set his team out to do something and it mightn't work, but that's not the manager's fault. Or the manager might do terrible subs and we might win the game. So no, it's the player ratings.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Hayden Evans Wood, what can we expect from Toffee TV in the future? New shows, ideas, concepts. We're always looking and thinking of things, mate, of what we can do. I don't know, we want to get better, bit of gaming maybe, we'll be back on there. Pez stuff will be back on. This season's been mad because it started, there was no break, really, it was 3 weeks and we were back at it. And then there's basically been 3 games a week. All the time, a game every 3 days, and everything becomes truncated and you're trying to get stuff in and out quickly. But the more that it gets back to normal and the more people we can get in means, because like for argument's sake, like Ned can't always be here because he's got his own stuff going on, and so then it's me and Ped and there's no one else is in here, then it's difficult, it takes longer to do everything. Whereas when people can come in, sometimes Ped will be behind, they're sorting everything out technically and all of that kind of stuff. Gives you more time to get shows done. But we're always looking at what works, what doesn't, and what people want. So we have got loads of ideas and we have got stuff that we want to get better at and smoother at and sharper at. So just keep looking out, there will be stuff. Tom says, fair enough lads, but I like the post-match pint that West Ham Fan TV do. Nicky does that thing, doesn't he, where he sits down?
We do sit down and we
do the final word.
We do the final word on Monday when we've had a little bit more of a thing on it.
We're definitely looking at something afterwards that we might do for maybe 30 minutes where we're both on it. I went on the player ratings on Saturday night on Peds because it was obviously a good night and we were all in a celebratory mood. And maybe we'll look at something after the match that we do together. maybe. We'll just see. We'll just see how it all works. But that could be something we do. Just an initial thing without really going back over it. Or maybe like a live, I don't know. Something along those lines. Ben Spion, who was on before, says, "Hi lads, love your show. My brother's birthday, so be happy if you greet him by saying something to him. He's a huge fan." What's his name?
What's his name?
Happy birthday, Bence's brother. You didn't give me your name.
Why'd you hate your brother?
Yeah, why, Bence? Why don't you like your brother? Anthony slipped on mud and had to have a plate and screws put in. Oh my God.
That broke his leg.
Yeah.
Oh
my dog Dixie was good at getting back from the field.
Did he run back and go, "Ow, ow, 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 ow"? What was that, Dixie?
He doesn't know how he made it up. Oh my God. Xenix Hasty says, "Why do you prefer Pez?" Because it's miles better. Literally. Josh McCann has just joined Patreon.
Thanks, Josh.
Is right, Josh. Enjoy it. Lots of stuff on there now, mate. Go and,
Baz's kids can eat.
go and enjoy it, mate.
Because of you.
Top man. Liam Munro calls Rich Tea Biscuits in his house Gabamans. Take that any way you want. Michael Glenn says, "Shout out Jamaica."
Jamaica!
Yeah, I mean, you've asked them. ME1G says, "Will the PIV be on soon?" Yes, definitely. Ned should do a reaction, Ben. You're absolutely right. That should be the first thing that he does.
No, the first thing he does is he does the
ratings.
He does the thumbnails. That's the first thing he
does. And then he should do his reactions. Ben says, "I love my brother and his name is Bob." Happy birthday, Bob, Bence's brother. Hope you're having a good day, mate.
Bob and Bence. Tremendous.
You can't, you know. Kieran Forsyth says, "Hi lads, hope you're well. Up the Blues." Indeed, Kieran, indeed. Right, last refresh on Patreon.
Refresh.
And then we're going. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We are heading towards the 50,000 mark, which is beautiful.
1,000.
We're at 1,107. 1,107 away from the big 50k. So subscribe if you haven't. Even if you're a fan of another team you're watching, why not? Well, in fact, it's now less. It's now 1,099. We're at 48.9. So that's lovely. So thank you very much. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll be bringing the footy. We might do the footy show tomorrow for half an hour.
Yeah.
Have a recap. We haven't done that for a while because a lot has changed since we've done the last one.
Should do, really.
Rich Barnett, yes, I'll give you a shout out to Darren. He's a Liverpool fan and literally won't answer his phone. Happy birthday, Darren. Well, it's not his birthday.
I doubt he'll be watching.
Hello, Darren Barnett. Answer your phone to your brother Rich. Just have a little chat about the match on Saturday. Yeah, there you go. Where are we? Do you think Haaland would be the same player he is now if we'd have accepted him, says Zenix?
Probably not.
No, he's probably still been at 23s.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Be on loan.
Possibly. Or on loan, yeah. Or on. Now, he is incredible, isn't he? But, you know, what can you do? Someone makes a decision at the time, don't they? And it is what it is. Simon Townley says, we should call it the UNESCO Stadium. Terry McAllister says, I do have something to contribute after all. It could be that USM Arena, but something from their umbrella of public-facing companies, the Megaphone Arena. It could be quite. I mean, it's on the training. It's on literally on this. Yeah, it's soft there. Ped and Ned, if you were an Avenger, what would you call? What would your costume be? Superpower be? Haven't you answered that before?
Invisibility.
Invisibility. Ned, what's yours?
Probably like.
You'd probably want to be smaller, wouldn't you? Because you are so tall. And
yeah, probably Ant-Man. I'd be another Ant-Man because I'm sick of being taller than everyone.
Yeah, that's the problem, Ned. When you're as tall as you are, it's an issue.
You're distracting because of your size.
Yeah.
My costume would just be
bollock.
James Shorting says, what other channels in terms of football do you guys like or have been involved with or don't like? Enjoying the 888 Sports videos at the moment, Pet. Also like Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. Can't stand Lawrence and True Geordie in there watch along. O'Brien. Robbie sound. Yeah. The lads are sound there. I mean, Liverpool talk, nah, but the nice
Anything that we've been on, we like. And if we haven't been on it, we don't like. Because we wouldn't go on stuff that we don't like.
It's a good way of putting it, to be fair. James Shorting says, nearly at 50k, lads. Channel's come a long way, hasn't it? Hope the Blues win a trophy and push you even further. Is right, James. Richard says, welcome, Josh. Gary will be in touch. Haha. Carlos says, I would like to see Ned's opposite chat.
I don't know what that means. But
Oh, okay.
Opposition.
Chatting to, yeah.
okay,
Chatting to
that could be
fans.
some, couldn't it? Ned talking to opposition fans.
Yeah. You could do that in here.
Could be, couldn't it?
A fan, like an opposition preview, you could do it.
I'm sure you get.
Carlos.
I'm sure you get some kind of credit for it in uni as well.
Be a good one.
Probably could do me final project on that. I'm not well spoken like you two. Though.
Doesn't matter.
From
You chat
It's
to
not
a
about
fan.
well-being.
It's about
well-being.
you're an Evertonian and you've got an opinion that literally qualifies you to do it.
Your opinion is wrong.
Are we done? It's 5 to
How
7.
tall's Ned? James, he's 5'5".
No, I'm 6 foot.
No, he's 5'5".
He's about 5'6".
I'm 5'7".
He's about.
I'm
He
not
says
5'7".
5'7".
I'm 5'7". I've
But
measured
he
myself.
he thinks he's 6 foot, but he gives Bernard a run for his money.
Yeah.
Gary Ward welcomes Josh.
There you go.
Of course.
welcome.
Why wouldn't he?
Official
Gary
welcome.
is our official welcomer.
Josh
Why
McCann.
wouldn't he? Jay Dunn says, call it the Dogs of War Stadium. And Paddy B says, forget Forbidden Plant. Worlds Apart on Lime Street is better.
It is well better.
Dan Dwarf says, stadium name, the Black Watch. And Stephen Poynton says, Frankfurt beat Munich twice this season, Ned. So,
What?
there you go.
Are we done?
We are, hang on. Paddy also said, Paddy is from Dublin. I might be saying your name awfully wrong, so I'm sorry. Mr. P. Stapleton, I will say. Hi guys, thanks for the content from Dublin. What I'd do to be in a beer cellar having a pint before the match and getting a taxi to the game. There you go. Take it easy. Thanks everyone for joining. Subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a like if you fancy it. And we'll see you next week. Patrons, we will see you all tomorrow. Download Last Fan Standing app. It's free. Everton quizzes play it. See you later. Up the Toffees.
See ya.